So like, if you look at the recessive genes inside Europeans versus the dominant genes inside of melanated people, that's an issue when it comes to them being possibly wiped out and us remaining. So if we are constantly having babies, and like I said, the abortion rate amongst African Americans is tremendous, but it's for a reason. That's why they call it Planned Parenthood. Before it was Planned Parenthood, it was called the Negro Project, and it was meant to control our population. It's Margaret Sanger, okay? Y'all can look that up. And then, so if we're having babies and then they can't have babies, that means in the end, if they don't do anything, they're going to be obsolete and gone, and we're still going to be here. So they're trying to keep themselves alive. So what they do is tactics. If you're a recessive gene, we have to concentrate the gene. So you get with you. Y'all try over and over and over again to have that baby. Make sure you have that baby. Now with us, like I said, we can have babies by mistake. So I might be chilling with Keisha, Letitia, and Felicia, and I have sex with all of them in the same week, and they all get pregnant. You see what I'm saying? Then this white woman had a baby, and then her baby gets lost in the turn. You see what I'm saying? Now we done had 3 babies. Now we got, I said, what, 3 people? That's 4 plus 7. That's 7 bodies. 7 black people, and they still got 2. So these numbers, and now I'm just talking about just one man doing that. Okay, so if we keep on doing that, just off a population base, it's gonna have us outpopulating them, which will make us win the war.
And they're constantly talking about it too. I mean, they're getting angry about that whole, them being the minority in the country.
Right.
Wow. I mean, they are angry about
that's why it's a major issue. So they make it a law where if you have more than one, it's illegal. Like, we'll take you and put you in jail, so you can't do that no more. Because like I was saying, if you have 19 million abortions since the 1970s, that's 19 million people that would have took jobs away from the white Americans who are already saying they need a job. So these are the quiet things that they're not going to talk about, but it's real. Then, like I was saying earlier in the beginning of the show, if you have people actually thinking about economics, which is we're making a certain amount of money, $400, $500 a week or something like that, and then you taking your 300, your 300, your 300, I'm taking my 300, that's 12, and we putting that in a pot. But then we also got the money left over, and we stay together or close to each other in a small proximity. So all of our money's going towards that. So the rent ain't as high. We eat together.
That's
all
how
of these
Latinos
things.
do it.
This how the Mexicans do it.
They're amazing with
and
it.
people talk about them all day long, but they are flourishing. They are flourishing.
Yeah,
very much so.
Let me tell you this. I've been watching Latinos. They stay in the house together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They all work together.
Yes.
They all got their own car.
Guess what?
They drink together and party
Right.
together.
And they build houses
And guess
together.
what? They pay off houses together. You know what I'm saying? And
They all
then
put their
guess
money
what?
together.
And then you see I'm watching this. I'm watching this because I'm able to see they actually want to move out that house, and now he's going to invest it into another house. Now they pay off that house and do that.
They do it over and over.
When you see Latinos have cars, guess what? It's already paid off.
Paid for.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's $30, $40, $60, $90,000 car. It's already paid off. You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna rob somebody, rob a Mexican. They got a pocket full of
come
money.
on, now. Let's don't do that. It's turn a bird.
Hold on. Seriously, though, on that topic, though, I used to work at the car dealership, and I've seen them come in, and the business office, they would be like 3 or 4 women in there accounting. They buy their cars with cash.
They have cash money. This is what I'm saying. And then with their children,
like they carry a wad with them to that car dealership and buy that car.
That's why I say that. And then with their children, they may not even know English. They'll make sure their children learn English just by attending school, right? And the children will teach them English, and they're encouraging the children to get all the way through college.
And not just English, they have 2 or 3 languages because they speak in the Spanish and the English, so they're bilingual, which automatically raises their job, increases, for money and stuff like that.
Right.
Because you always get more money if you're bilingual.
Oh yeah. What been happening now? They have not been trying to pay you for it now.
No,
but you're supposed to
be smart about that. Though.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Do you know how much translators make?
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole
No. That's on topic because this is what I'm saying. When it comes to actual building, you have to think poly. You have to think in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There's multiple ways of thinking. So like you were saying with them, they might have even if they have monogamous relationships, they work together. Then, like I say, with their children, they'll push them through college, and then at the meantime, while they're growing up, they're buying all these different properties. So they have property, they have equity and stuff like that. They're gonna have a position once they get into the field. The Latino, they speak bilingual, like you said. They could take some of that same money and go into another Spanish-speaking country and translate that money over, transfer that money where to be more. See what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, they're building generational wealth.
That's what they're doing the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when I speak on polygamy, which is why it's been programmed into our women.
So let me ask you this: why must it be polygamy? Why can't it just be something else, like basically working together? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could happen like that, but I'm just realistic. Mm-hmm. In most of the situations I see men, and the men will have a woman. But that don't mean she the only woman. She might think she's the only woman. See what I'm saying? So if she thinks she's the only woman, that's a lie. Now she's living in a fantasy. Okay? You can't really build off of that. Because once a person finds out the lie, that destroys their whole reality. Now they have to pick up the pieces.
Start over a lot of times.
Counterproductive. You see what I'm saying? Now, if one of the reasons that polygamy is so looked down upon is because there's no trust in brotherhood, there's no trust in sisterhood. If you don't have trust, you can't build. You can't work together. So you'll have women who like, I don't want this chick around my man because she might do this and do that.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Like, as far as, okay, because you got those relationships, but you know, at some point in time, it's just in man's nature, jealousy.
Speaking of that, yes. Speaking of that, because you know we've heard a lot from the perspective, but the questions is what we need to get into now, man. We gotta ask the questions. So, case in point, how do you deal with the jealousies and the balance?
Yeah, the balance
of the women, right?
Yeah,
both. Because, I mean, what if they don't like you no more? What if it's just two women and they think they can do better without you now?
Remember what I was saying earlier? Free will is everything. So all you're doing is, hey, this is who I am. There's no guarantee this person is going to stick with you. There's no guarantee that when they tell you they like you or they don't like you, that they're even telling the truth then. They could be speaking out of emotion. It could just be their energy they feeling right then in emotion. So I could tell her, hey, I'm polygamous. I ain't with all that. But she like you though. She's still talking to you. You see what I'm saying? Because in her mind, she's thinking maybe I could change him or something like that.
They always do.
Then you can have the ones who say, okay, well, I might be able to do that. Knowing in their mind, they have no intentions of really doing it. So these are just the negatives that can happen. But let's think about the positives that can happen. Now, I wish I could play it, but I know this for a fact. If a woman has a best friend, her and her best friends are like sisters. See what I'm saying? Now, if her best friend ain't got a man, and she's telling her best friend how good of a person you are, and he's this, and he's that. Especially if she tell you about the sex and all of that. Like, yeah, sex is the bomb, blah, 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 blah. The best friend is like, what does she like so much about him? He's got to be a good guy. Now, she meet him, or she sees his flavor, whatever, and she like, dang, he is cool. If you were to tell her, hey, ask your best friend, is she down to kick it with us? You know what I'm saying? Ask her if she down to kick it with us. Like, she'll be your sister wife or something like that. You'll be surprised. 80% of them women would be like, does he even like me like that? Wow. See what I'm saying?
Dang.
But see,
you said 80%?
He said 80%.
Yeah, that's a large percent.
But you have to have high value. Your value has to be high. It's like, what do you bring to the table?
What are you
intelligent? Are you handsome? Somebody they want to have babies with? Are you responsible? Are you somebody they could depend on? Because if so, like, it's slim pickings out here.
Okay, so but now it comes back down to the sexual part though. You know what I'm saying? So what we asking is
scheduling.
Yeah, like, how do you divide your time? How do you keep one enough from being jealous, or how do you just keep balance?
Open conversation.
You really can't, because you can't predict what a person is going to feel at any given time.
Right.
But what you can
do. Let me put it like this. Because what was your experience like that?
I mean, I've had experiences where, I'll put it like this. I've had experiences where you tell them, hey, I got somebody I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying?
What would their response be like? What they response?
Really just like, oh, okay.
And they be all right. So,
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
They can say they okay, but really they have their own. You never know what's on a person's mind.
Right.
So
just from your experience, because if you say, "Hey, I got somebody I want to introduce into this relationship," I mean, I'm assuming that's how you do it, right?
I don't know. I don't necessarily put it like that. I would put it more so as it's somebody that I'm interested in.
Okay.
Because you don't know if it's how it's going to formulate. It may not turn into anything. You know what I'm saying? But more so, it's more like, okay, yeah, I got somebody I'm interested in. I'm getting to know them or whatever the case is. If it become more serious, it's like, hey, you talk to both of them like, hey, y'all both my friends. I want y'all to meet. Because both of y'all my friends at this point. You know what I'm saying? Let's all kick it.
So then at this point, they meet and what happened?
I mean, it depends on the chemistry of them. Because they still have to be friends.
So what if their chemistry is off?
If their chemistry is off, then it just may not work.
So, but you really like this person.
I mean, that's true, but if the chemistry is off, it may not work.
Okay.
How you start is how you gonna end.
So if you got better, that's been my saying for forever.
So if you enter into a relationship with one person, what I mean by relationship is it's a ship of relations. So it's how we relate to each other, and we're on this ship together. It's sailing. So that's how it started.
Or the ship might sink.
It could sink, but you better hop off. You know what I'm saying?
Get on that lifeboat. Don't be the last one on.
You better hop off.
See, the lifeboat is like the side chick and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
That branch you gotta hold on to.
Okay, going back. Okay, so it don't work. So do you continue to see that other person on the side without being in that relationship? Or how do you do it?
Because I mean, truthfully, how you start is how you gonna end.
Right.
So if you and the other person were really vibing like that, then that's what it's gonna be. But if you try to bring them into something, and it wasn't, what's up?
I'm just thinking, like, we talking about the physical a whole lot, but I'm thinking long term, like 20, 30 years down the road, and you know, you're getting older. You can't satisfy, you know, you getting older, you know. It's like, who do I love? Or do you actually choose to be with one person eventually? Or is it like, I don't know, I just keep having, you know, I'll just keep, you know, making babies off of these, you know, 3 women. 1 or 2 might fall off and I get 2 more. And it's just like,
nah, that's like, different though.
Yeah, that's
like not structured.
Yeah.
That's not structured. You know
what I'm just saying? Eventually you're going to get old. So how do you deal with, you might actually fall in love with one person, but the other
getting
ones,
old too, I guess. I'm saying if,
but I'm trying to come to,
I'm assuming that this is a committed relationship, right?
Yeah, well,
between,
once again, you have to base it off of what is the person saying, and then if they say something and they do the opposite, then what is the commitment? There was no commitment. There's no guarantee. That's why divorce exists. You see what I'm saying? Nothing is guaranteed. Everything actually is an illusion and temporary.
What I'm trying to get at is, eventually, like, what if you fall in love with one person? You can love the other 2, but you're in love with this one. It's like different, you know.
It's just like some people fall in love with people that ain't in love with them.
It's like sad.
All of these things are just
true.
scenarios. So the best case scenario, because I don't know too many perfect marriages out here just being real. I'm talking about monogamous. You see what I'm saying? It's based off of compromise. It's based off of, okay, this is what we dealing with. Am I willing to push through this with you? We're gonna push through.
Compromise is strong.
That's what it's really based off of. So me, I'm just different as far as I think bigger. I don't think in a box. I really don't think in a box. I think outside the box. So
we see that.
Do you think in a circle? What about a circle?
No, he think outside the box.
It's more so I think like a triangle.
Yeah.
I think
a circle just keeps going though.
I started a base exactly, and I don't want to just go around in circles.
Yeah, a rat wheel. He don't want the rat wheel.
He want to chase his tail.
That's the rat wheel.
Exactly. That's like the hamster on the wheel. Going nowhere. Yeah. I like to think like
he wants to go up.
It's the pyramid. I like to think of I got the base, and I'm trying to get to a point.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
The pyramid.
The triangle.
The triangle is the top, the strength.
Wow.
The arrowhead.
I got you. So, man, so
I really hope I'm not confusing y'all, because the main thing I want to get across is that free will is important, and you have to respect people's free will. If you can do that, you'll start attracting your vibe and your tribe, right? Like, it's certain women, you can tell them I'm not into that, and they're gonna be like, well, I am, so what are you gonna do? And then you could say, hey, I'm into this. Well, I'm not. So what are you gonna do? That's the compromise thing. But if you want to avoid some issues, you could just get with a woman who claims she's bisexual. She likes girls. You know what I'm saying? Like I ask women, it's easy to, you just be like, hey, you ever kissed a girl before? If she say yeah, it's like, oh, okay, well, she's that much interested in girls. Usually bisexual women, they're a lot easier to get in polygamous relationships with because they already have a affinity for women. You see what I'm saying? Now you might
And don't mind men.
They might not.
But what's wild is I forgot what's the name of it, and I'm having a hard time with all these different names. It's but anyway, it's where the husband and the wife is already married, but they bring in a sister friend. What is that called?
Sister wife is what you're saying?
Sister wife. And what happened is that the wife and the sister wife don't have any relationship at all. But the man, he sleeps with both of them. So what is that relationship called?
I don't know what that's called, but that puts me in the mind state of it's somebody in the Bible where his wife couldn't have a baby, so she pulled in the handmaid and said, okay, you have children by her because I want you to have children.
By the ugly one.
Yeah.
Okay, I know he's talking
He's
about.
like, I want you to have children. Was that Jacob?
Jacob, Hannah, and I think
Yeah, it was Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah, because Hannah couldn't have the babies.
Oh no, it wasn't Jacob because Jacob had to marry the one that he didn't want.
Yeah.
And to get to the one that he did want.
Wait a minute. It was
one
the
he didn't
ugly.
want.
It was the ugly girl and the.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
And then that's why I say when you say that
I think it was Panana who kept having babies, and she was bragging about it to Hannah. Like she was like, "Look, I got all these babies. You ain't got none."
yeah.
And she was getting stressed out about
because
it.
having babies back then.
Oh, that was big.
Yeah, you
Like-
you the
Like if you were barren, then you were worthless. You know,
No,
like
you-
as a woman. Like if you were barren and couldn't have child for your husband, you were pretty much worthless.
Oh, if you
Because
could,
you couldn't carry on
if
his
you
blood.
could,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you was having a baby,
Yeah,
was
like you were
everything. Okay.
Yeah, like you were looked down on and everything.
But yeah, go ahead and get to your
But
point.
see, that's why I was saying, like, cause like when you say it's a new thing, it's so not new. Even in the Bible, you could think of, especially in the Old Testament, it was many of important people who had multiple wives. See what
Well,
I'm saying?
when I say new, I'm talking about the word that they as
word,
far
right.
as me digesting or start hearing about, I just start hearing about,
As far as popularity and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But yeah, back then they did it based off practicality. So like in that situation, she would say, well, I love you. We have our relationship. I can't have any babies. I'm going to get the handmaid. Can you lay with her? And then you can have your babies. Okay? Because I want you to carry on your lineage. Because I have a personal belief that you can't reincarnate into a body unless you have left a bloodline to come into. So I think that's one of the ancient reasons why men have to, if you want to continue your blood lineage, you have to have a baby. You have to have at least one. You see what I'm saying? So like he said, if a woman can't give you a child, but you saying I'm in love with you, but you can't give me a child, really you in love with death. You know? Or maybe you lusting for love or something like that. You know what I mean? Because truthfully, she's supposed to love you enough to be like, okay, I want the best for you too. So that's where we get back to the, you can have multiple people in a relationship, but what are they actually intending for you? Or do they have your best interest, or do they have the best interest of themselves in mind?
So who best interest do they have in mind though? Is it the one, I mean, like who determine who is the head or of this relationship as far, because okay, typically you would think it would be the man because he's bringing in bam, you know what I'm saying? The one girl and then another girl. But who determines that?
Well, women typically go for the alpha.
Okay.
In nature, they go for the alpha. The beta is the submissive one. Okay. So if it's a situation where a man is in a polygamous relationship but he's a beta, 9 times out of 10 it's because he's a trick.
Okay.
He gives them money and he steps back. And they're able to live how they want to live. Now that's also going to be unstructured. Like hyenas are based off a beta system. Lions are based off an alpha system.
Yeah.
So the women choose.
Same thing with wild horses. There's one stallion that will look after the whole herd, but he's the only one who has mating rights with the whole herd.
See what I'm saying?
And if another one comes in, that's his responsibility. He protects them from other stallions, snakes. So he risks his life to kill snakes. He he chases after wolves. That's that's the stallion's job.
See, that's what makes
I
you
never knew
majestic. It makes you majestic. Like elephants the same way.
That's why I don't understand why women be calling themselves stallions.
Well, no, it's whitewash, man.
Like that is so weird to me. Like,
It's
why you calling
whitewash,
yourself a
man.
stallion?
They don't know, but it's like when you're dealing with alphas and stuff like that, you're talking about the protector, and then the ones who have the babies. So you have to protect them. See what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at polygamy and they say, "Oh, it's just a man being able to get his rocks off. He can have sex with as many women." You can't have that much sex and still be walking around here with your full energy. It don't even work like that. You can't even think clear like that.
So it's bigger than sex.
Way bigger, because the man has to give up a lot of energy, just as far as maintaining and, like he said, protecting.
That's
You
what
know
I'm saying, man. The whole taking care of all that. That's a lot of responsibility to me.
But it's just like children. So if I have more than one child or something like that, now I have my attention is spread in different ways.
Now
And
let me
developing
speaking of children though, because there's how do you explain that to children? Because
children see.
right.
You don't have to explain. Cause see, we had this crazy saying, "Do as I say, not as I do." Nah, we are creatures of habit. So
Well, this is what I'm talking about because okay, we'll just use Hannah and Sarah as a okay, you got Hannah who you may got pregnant. Then you got Sarah who you got pregnant. Now you got these two women and now they just offspring and kids. You know what I'm saying? So now how do you explain, or get the kids to understand what's happening, or you know what I'm saying?
understanding comes from within, but the man just basically tell them, "You're my children. This is your brother. This is your sister. Because you're my children." You see what
But
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying,
You all share the same blood.
This your
lineage.
mama? Like, is Sarah? You had kids with Sarah,
They're gonna know who
But
their
you-
mama is.
right?
But if the other one, let's say the other one treats the child more like a quote unquote mama than
Right.
the actual mama.
So
She's supposed to, right? That's what my understanding is.
I mean, her children are her children. Now she chooses to love your children like her children. That's just a what they call it, not a vice,
But my thing is
a virtue that she
is
share.
y'all have this whole understanding. Y'all should just be one big happy family, right? I mean, that would be.
that would be an
That would be-
interesting family reunion.
Well, I'm trying to figure out.
That's
I
ideal.
don't-
Hey, look, that
It's
cookout would be
ideal.
something else, right?
So I'm trying to get an understand.
It's
So,
ideal for everything to just be perfect. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you watch the Brady Bunch, every episode had drama.
okay.
Every episode had drama.
Okay. Okay.
But, so we talking about a perfect world versus the real world.
Okay.
It's almost like we define our reality through conflict. Unfortunately, that's sad, but that's true. Like
Right.
if there was a perfect world, we wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
But like, man, it's too quiet around here.
So let me ask you this: Have you ever thought about being in a poly relationship?
I never thought about it like that. No, I mean,
Would you involve yourself in a poly?
I think it's too much work.
Okay.
Honestly,
Okay.
I believe that a person could be perfectly happy with just one person,
Okay.
especially if it's that special person.
Or by yourself.
Yeah,
I agree though.
or by yourself with people who you were friendly with. But like some of my best relationships like ever have been with women who I've never slept with. I've never had any sexual relationship with. And it's I can still run into them now to this day and I'll be like, hey, what's up?
That's cool.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but I also I just think like a God. So I think a man can be solo if he wants to be solo. He can have a woman if he wants to have a woman. He can have multiple women if he wants to do that. He can play with himself if he wanted to. He really can do whatever he wants to do.
Okay.
Now it's a matter of
So I gotta ask you because you keep saying I'm thinking like a god, but like, what do you mean by that when you say I'm thinking like a god?
when I say you thinking like a God, what I mean is you can't see anything except for what you have, quote unquote, some type of element of control over. You look outwards. You close your eyes, you see nothing. You open your eyes, you see what you have manifested. Like if you close your eyes right now and open them back up, you'll see where you put yourself to be right now. This is what you chose to manifest in this very moment. You see what I'm saying?
Now answering the question though, how and why is that how God thinks? Like, why are you saying that that's how God thinks?
No, I don't think he's called. He said he's thinking like a god. Okay, well, never mind. Go
No, what
ahead.
I'm saying is
Go ahead.
when you open your eyes, you're seeing what you have some type of element of control over. Like I could touch your cup if I wanted to. I just touched this mic by mistake because it's here to be touched. Because it's here to be touched. You see what I'm saying? So if you're talking about
I mean, we talk a certain way, but you know, if you could break down for me, because you know, I hear like you've said that a lot today. Like I'm thinking like a god. So explain that to you know the viewers. Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
it's no different from if people say, "Hey, man, my house is real cold," so they go chop down a tree and then they find a way to burn it. That was God power. See what I'm saying? They're taking elements, different elements. They took the earth, they take wind, they take fire, so that they can warm themselves up because they had an intention and a purpose.
So using a tool.
Everything around you, my bad. Everything around you is a tool. Just like I'm using y'all right now to get my message across.
And that's what thinking like a god is.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
With that being the argument, would you say the same thing for a monkey that uses a piece of straw to dig out ants to eat it?
Yes, because that's yes.
So he's a god too.
Well, he's God's creation, so he is a part of God. Yes. Okay. And then, because anything that you create is gonna be a part of you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's an extension of yourself.
Okay.
So just like how we're sitting here talking right now, this right here is a construct that God meant to happen. Because if it wasn't, or when I say God, I meant the Most High. If it wasn't meant to be, we wouldn't be here. So on a higher scale,
choices.
This is meant to happen. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So I look around me and I see all the tools that's available, and then I use them. I see my hands. I see my legs, my body, so I can use all of this. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, what I can't see is I can't see my facial hair. I can't see my hair growing out of my head. So them things I don't even be worried about. That's why I just let it grow. If you hold up a mirror, that artificial thing called
reflection.
A mirror,
we talked about that earlier,
right? But when you start looking at that, that's when you're taking away from your godhood. Because instead of staring out, you're staring in. You're not supposed to stare in. You stare out. You look at what you have effect over. So, like I said, if I meet a woman. Now, okay, I see that woman. She was doing her thing before she met me, but she looked good to me.
Hey, man.
Now I'm thinking,
you know what? I gotta use a mirror though, man.
What's up?
Cause man, I gotta get a haircut. I gotta make sure it's clean.
You know why I don't like mirrors?
Tell it.
Because they lie to you. You see what you think is your reflection, but it's really backwards. So you never really see your true reflection. Like for instance, your left and your right is backwards when you look in the mirror. So you've never really seen yourself before. Ever. You see what I'm saying? Ever. He has seen you. I've seen you, but you've never seen yourself. It's impossible.
Yeah, if you saw yourself, man, you might.
What if?
Even if you get your phones, because now they have the phones where they'll change the reflection.
They'll flip your.
But it's gonna tell you how much quality that is. So it's still not in the human eye quality. You can't. It's impossible. So it's like it's certain things where you step outside. Anytime you use a vice or a device, you're stepping outside your godhood. A mirror is a device. Matter of fact, it's a black magic device. See what I'm saying? It's used for scrying. You look into it and you see visions. So you might think you're seeing yourself, but really you seeing what you envision yourself as. Because your woman might see you and be like, oh, you sexy to me. I don't know what you're talking about. But you could be talking about a zit in your face. See what I'm saying? Not in her perception. It's perception. So when I speak about being a god, first of all, women are the first gods. That's why we all come out of a woman. You see what I'm saying? Our job is to protect the woman. So we're like guardians or guardians, as they call it. See what I'm saying?
That's interesting. It makes me think about, off subject again, but
you like getting off subject.
You know how we come out of a woman. That's why you mentioned we come out of a woman. What if that person didn't come out of a woman?
See, that's hypothetical.
No. What if they were a clone baby?
No, we're gonna get back on subject
what if
right
they
now.
Were a clone baby?
That's somebody without a soul.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Hey,
that's somebody.
Y'all watch out for those clone babies. You ain't got a belly button.
What you know about that belly button?
Oh man. Okay, so you say you more so a monogamous.
I'm traditional.
He likes to concentrate.
I'm old school, and my mind is not that.
And like
I'm not a multitasker in that way.
Yeah,
because you have to be a multitasker. I feel like.